What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So today we're talking about the Big Mom versus Kaido batch. We all know it's coming. As of me making this video though, we haven't got an official announcement about the Sugo Fest, and I'm not really too sure when that announcement is going to come. A lot of people are kind of predicting that the banner is going to drop as soon as the maintenance finishes. Now we don't have any confirmation of that, but it's pretty well in tune with what would happen and what we've seen previously happen, where a new batch is supposed to debut, they have a maintenance prior to, and as soon as the maintenance finishes, the banner will be live. But we don't know if that's going to be the case this time. We'll have to wait and see. So I'm making this video preemptively because we are expecting it, but if we do get information before I'm supposed to upload this video, then obviously I'm going to be changing things around, but we'll have to wait and see. When this video goes out though, if there's no information, then it is what it is, but we'll have to wait and see when this is actually debuting. So let's go ahead and talk about the banner, because I wanted to talk about these units because there's not much really going on in Treasure Cruise right now. So I wanted to take this time to talk about the batch, give my thoughts and opinions on it, and hopefully you guys understand what these units do and see what they're all about. Let's just jump straight into the Sugo Fest exclusive first. Let's start off with Big Mom versus Kaido. Now, this is a new mechanic. I kind of briefly talked about it in my 10.2 announcement video about how versus units work. So just to kind of reiterate that, in order to use this unit, and the way that you do use it, is that when you put this character onto your crew, you decide, do you want it to be Big Mom or do you want it to be Kaido, and you get differing effects with that unit when you use them in a piece of content. They've got different captain abilities, they've got different special abilities. I believe their crewmate abilities are the same, or pretty similar, but they have a versus effect, which works kind of similar to like a super type, but you can activate it multiple times per adventure, and you can use it when they're a sub as well, which is really awesome. So let's get into it. Kaido versus Big Mom, they have the same classes between each unit, so both of them are driven and powerhouse units. Kaido is strength, Big Mom is int, and then you have their stats. I believe this is their versus, so when they're in their versus, because when you activate the versus effect, they actually get like buffed stats. Either way, like pretty good stats with the expansion, of course. But let's go ahead and have a look at the captain ability. So captain, when it says character 1, that refers to Kaido, character 2 refers to Big Mom. So Kaido's captain effect reduces the cooldowns of all characters by 2 turns at the start, which is so good, and then boosts the attack of strength, dex, and int by 5 times. 5 times flat, by the way, and 1.3 health boost, cuts the HP of each enemy by 20% at the end of each turn, and then boosts the chances of tandem slots appearing and makes them beneficial to all characters. Like, straight off the bat, like one of the best captain abilities in the game. You've got flat 5x captain to 3 colors, additional health, end of turn health cut, lots of matching slots, -2 cooldown. Like, what more could you really want? This is like a beastly captain effect for raids, coliseums, any short form content. This guy's going to be a beast for. Really good. We'll get back to Big Mom in a sec. I just want to go through all of Kaido's stuff first. So Kaido's sailor ability says cannot be blown away, and also makes tandem, recovery, and similar beneficial to int and strength. That's actually really good. Now, Kaido's special ability will cut the HP of each enemy by 20%. That ignores all damage negating abilities and barriers. He changes block and recovery slots into tandem slots, which of course with his captain effect he makes beneficial, with his crewmate effect makes beneficial, and then boost the attack of those 3 typings of strength, dex, and int by 2.25 times for 1 turn, and if you hit 3 perfects, you boost the orbs of strength, dex, and int by 2.5 in the following turn. So if you're running double Kaido, you can obviously use one special, you get a huge attack boost, you kill that stage, you move on to the next room, you've got your orb boost, and then you can activate another Kaido to get an attack and an orb boost. Pretty decent orb manipulation, lots of health cuts going on. Pretty understandable why a lot of people think this guy is really good. He just boosts a lot of different characters. He's his crew's own attack booster, crew's own orb booster, decent orb manipulation. You see what's going on here. He's really good. Now, he obviously has the new versus mechanic. Now, in order to activate it, you need to consume 10 tandem, recovery, or similar slots before you can actually activate it. Now, this is the same condition for both, so even though Kaido is based around tandem slots, you can still eat recovery or similar slots if you have them, and that will still count towards activating his versus ability. But Kaido, when you go ahead and launch it, it says it does 500 times his attack in typeless damage to all enemies at the end of the turn, and will also deal 3 times the damage dealt by himself with normal attacks to the enemy with the highest HP for 3 turns. this is really, really good. Very similar to Legend Bullet, right? Because Legend Bullet, he does double damage, depending on his normal attacks, to all enemies. But this guy, he only targets the enemy with the highest HP, so it only a single target. But at least this, 500 times his attack and typeless damage to all enemies at the end of the turn. That also lasts for 3 turns. So he does that huge wave clear, and then depending on what his normal attack value was, he then targets the enemy with the highest HP and does 3 times the normal attack. So if Kaido hits for 1 million damage, his end of turn damage is 3 million plus this other end of turn hit. He's just based around clearing content really fast and doing lots of damage along the way. He's very, very strong. So that's all just Kaido, but remember, in this one legend, you also have Big Mom, who is slightly different. Big Mom, on the other hand, will boost the attack of Strength, Psi, and Int. So instead of boosting Dex, she's going to boost Psi instead, and that's a 5 times boost, boosting their health by 1.5 rather than 1.3, so Big Mom is more tankier, and then boosts the chances of recovery orbs just appearing, and then makes them beneficial, and also similar slots are also going to be counted as beneficial. And this really cool effect, when you hit a perfect with a recovery or similar slot, you can actually heal from it still. That is a really awesome mechanic that this character has, and especially by having more HP and then making recovery orbs appear more often, you're also getting lots of matching slots and you're healing back a lot. So she's quite tanky, and that's a really, really nice effect that she has, and it makes her like a really good captain to use for high difficulty content because you can hit really hard and also heal at the same time, which is pretty awesome. Same Sailor effects, of course, but Big Mom's special ability is pretty much the same thing. It's a health cut that ignores all abilities and barriers, changes block orbs and tandem slots into recovery, boost the attack of those 3 types for 2.25. If you hit 3 perfects, you get an orb boost to those 3 types. Very similar, but slightly different. Now, another thing that's actually relatively different is their versus effect, because while Kaido is basically do as much damage as possible, Big Mom is slightly different in it makes her own attacks ignore all like defensive effects and base defense for 3 turns. Recovery orbs become similar slots instead for 3 turns as well. And then also recovers HP depending on the number of enemies that you defeated. So every time you kill an enemy, like a mob, an enemy, whatever it is, a turtle, you heal 15 times Big Mom's recovery at the end of that turn. So that's pretty cool as well. Really, really nice way to get your health back, especially if you're on a mini-boss stage or you see lots of enemies, just to get a lot of health back just by launching her super type special. She bypasses everything. You get similar slots instead, which remember, similar slots are kind of like Wano slots where they cannot be manipulated from the enemy. So that's a really, really cool thing that you can kind of manipulate by getting similar slots, keeping them, and then like the enemy just can't like change your orbs around, which is kind of cool, right? So that's the difference between Kaido and Big Mom. Big Mom is a more tanky unit based around similar and recovery slots you can heal when you hit perfects, whereas Kaido, reduced cooldown and his versus effect obviously doing lots and lots of damage. So that's the comparison between the 2 units. They both boost strength and int. Kaido versus Dex, Big Mom will boost Psi, so lots of really cool things to like about this unit, and definitely is considered by many players to be like top 3 best legend in the game, definitely rivaling Luffy, Sanji, Roger, Shanks crew, those types of units, right? So that's Kaido versus Big Mom, but we have 3 rare recruits that are debuting alongside. We have King. Now, dude, this rare recruit is honestly one of my favorite rare recruits in the game. He is so cool. So King is a strength powerhouse driven, pretty awesome. His stats are pretty fine. His attack for his, his captain ability just in general is just pretty lame, whatever. But his sailor ability and special, right? Sailor ability reduces his own special charge time by 2 turns when it's reversed, and also resists 5 turns of special bind. Already very good, because his special on a 12-turn expanded cooldown reduces the special cooldown of Powerhouse by 2, and changes adjacent orbs into matching, and reduces burn, special bind, and blindness, all by 5 turns. So that's really cool, right? But there is even more to like about this unit, with not only having amazing sailor ability, amazing special, low cooldown, is that he has access to the fear debuff removal with his potential ability, resisting that by 5 turns. So he's a very strong unit to use in like Garp Challenge NL, for example. Like so nice, dude. So that's that, right? This unit is one of my favorite rev recruits in the game. Super strong. Next is Queen. So Queen finally debuting on Global. This is the first Queen unit that we have. There's obviously going to be a treasure map unit that debuts a little bit down the road. But Queen the Plague is a Psi powerhouse driven as well. You know, same classes, stats whatever, captain ability whatever. Sailor ability boosts amount healed from a recovery slot by 150 and changes all slots into recovery at the start of the fight. Because this character is a Psi unit, this is typically a unit that you're going to be using more with Big Mom, obviously. And you want to be getting recovery slots because Big Mom can abuse that, so that's really cool. Special ability reduces enemies' increased defense and percent damage reduction by 5, and then gives you a 3 times chain lock for 1 turn. Pretty good, honestly. Reducing the defense effects by 5. It obviously doesn't reduce threshold, but still, just reducing those 2 in particular by 5 is great. And 11 turn cooldown, fantastic unit, honestly. This character has the hunger, the hunger potential ability as well. Only reducing it by 2 stacks, that is a little unfortunate. You know, it would have been nice if it was at least 3. I think Luffy Sanji, when they're maxed, I think they reduced them by 3 as well. So I guess they may be saving that for Sugro Fest exclusives, but considering how hunger has been a relatively prevalent debuff in the game right now, any unit that reduces it is obviously going to be great. So if you do end up pulling this unit, this is one I'd probably suggest expanding, and then whenever you get dupes of him, you can start feeding him and potentially getting his hunger, getting that maxed is quite important, right? And he doesn't have, unfortunately, any good sailor effect, or support effect, should I say. Let's move on to the final rare recruit, which is Jack the Drought, who is int powerhouse driven. So you can see a pretty big theming here in this batch. Captain abilities, whatever. Boost attack and HP of powerhouse by 50. Makes strength, dex, and quick orbs beneficial for himself. He is an int character, so only size slots, I guess, are non-beneficial, but either way. Deals 200,000 fixed damage to a single enemy and reduces bind and attack down by 5 and gives you a 2 times orb boost for 1 turn. Like, great. Like, 5 turn utility to 2 different debuffs and then a 2 times orb boost. Like, pretty good, right? 12 turn cooldown after expansion. Not too terrible at all. He does have the ship bind effect, which isn't as useful, unfortunately. I do think the hunger and the fear debuff that King and Queen have are far superior to what Jack has here, and unfortunately not a very useful support effect. But either way, it's still not terrible. This is a unit that's going to be nice for upcoming content, of course, because upcoming content loves the new batch, so that's quite nice to have. So still, either way, I think this batch is actually pretty good, especially King. I think King is one of the better rare recruits we've seen in a long time. Having the fear debuff plus special bind removal, reducing other debuffs, special reverse with his cremate effect and special as well, like so good. And then Big Mom versus Kaido, as we've already established, are considered to be one of the best legends in the game. I'm really looking forward to pulling on this Sugro Fest, but of course we do not have any information regarding the Sugro Fest batch, what legends are going to be available, what the steps are going to be, what the legend rate's going to be. We don't have much information right now. All we know is that this is 100% confirmed to be the next releasing Sugro Fest exclusive. It's just a matter of when they're going to be debuting, right? Are they going to debut after the maintenance period? If that's the case, that's going to be really dope. But we'll have to wait and see. But that's going to end this video. Let me know down below in the comments section. Are you really excited for Kaido versus Big Mom? Are you guys going to be pulling for this unit? Because I definitely am. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But like, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.